Hello, my name is Movie Expert. Hello, can you hear me? This is live broadcast from our studio, Movie Video Review Studio. We are back, and we are live. Today I am alone, and I want. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I'm alone. And today I'm going to bring attention to all the great movies from a great website, IMDb, the database of movies. And we are going to review all of the great movies on live television. And today we are going to review movies starting from number 250. Okay, so the movie 250, it is great. I am here alone, and I just want to present a great movie. This is first movie. It is called In the Mood for Love. So I'm going to review it now. It is a China movie, and it tells a story about two Chinese guy and girl, and they fall in love. They spend together time at hotel where they love each other, but unfortunately they have a quarrel in the middle of the movie. It is very dramatic. He turns red, and the girl turns red too, and it is very dramatic, especially for a China person. But in the end, they still love each other, and in the end, they laugh about everything that happened. It is a happy ending, which is great for China movie. I give it 8 stars. Next movie is Beauty and Beast. This is very old classic from Mr. Walt Disney. In this movie we have again a love story between an ugly guy and a beautiful girl. The guy is very he was very ugly. He looks like a big cow. Moo. And the girl is very beautiful. But once upon a time, the girl give him a beautiful flower, so he can become beautiful again. And he becomes beautiful very soon, like you see in this photograph. And this is a very great story for kids, because it tells them that love can make you beautiful. And it's a beautiful story about love. I love love. Next movie, I give Beauty and Beast 8 stars. Next movie we have is Lagan. Welcome to India. It is a great famous movie about India. It is one of the best India movies I have ever seen. It is very interesting. It has a very interesting story. It is a movie. It's about a guy who wears who fights for freedom, for his freedom of his country, India, and also he falls in love with an Indian girl, and he has a lot of friends, and his name is Lagan, but I don't remember his other friends, but they all fight for freedom of India. It is very long movie. It is 6 hours long, and it has a lot of dancing and a lot of emotion. Okay. So I give the movie Lagan 8 stars. So how do you like this program so far? Can you hear me good? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Do you like the great movies? I can't hear you saying anything. Okay. Hello. Okay, let's continue with the movies. Our next movie is one of the great movies, and it is number 247. But I think it will go high next time, maybe, because it deserves a higher number. It is called Marvel's The Avengers. A lot of the things have been said about Marvel's The Avengers, but I think that in the last few years it has really become a classic of its generation. You see, there is no more movies like it that has a lot of heroes like Captain America and Thor and the Big Hulk and the great Red Queen called Black Widow, and also Iron Man, and of course the Quicksilver, and also the X-Men. These are all great heroes who protect the Earth from big villain. And this movie, it really mixes the drama of the situation with a lot of pathos and also light-hearted jokes. So we can really see that these heroes are really like us. And in the movie The Avengers, it was one of the best movies about the Avengers. It was written and directed by the great Joss Whedon, who really created a great villain called Loki. I give this movie 8 stars. Next movie that we have is King Speech, about the King of England and how he was learning English language, because he couldn't speak in the beginning of the movie, but he needed to speak before his country, before the war. And when the war was starting, he was only shouting, because he couldn't learn English. He couldn't speak at all. But his great teacher, the Mr. Lionel, he gave him a lot of books to read, and in the end of the movie the king became a great speaker. And I think this is a really touching movie, because everyone is like the king. He cannot speak, but one day maybe we will all learn to speak. I give this movie 8 stars. Next movie we have again Marvel movie, and it is a great wonderful Marvel that we have so many Marvel movies in our studio. This movie is called Guardians of the Galaxy. It is like Avengers but in space. You see, they're all in space, but they're all heroes too. And but I don't know, maybe this movie is not so great. I think Avengers is maybe better, because this movie it doesn't even have any famous heroes. All the heroes in it are just I don't know, just you see, just cheap heroes, just little dog, and just a big boxer, and some unknown actor, and also a black woman. This is not as good as Scarlett Johansson. So I give, but it is still great movie. It's on the great movie list, of course. And oh, hello, I'm alone here. I'm alone here. Please listen to me. I'm alone. You cannot go. I'm really alone in here. Hello, please. I'm really alone. Don't go. I'm alone. Please don't go. Please don't go. Please stay. I'm alone. I don't know, but I'm alone. Please stay here. I'm really alone in here. Please. Don't leave. I'm alone. I want to share information about great movies. So, our next movie is Fanny and Alexander. It is a European classic, but it's very boring if you don't like classic movies. But I think it's great. But it's not funny. But it says funny, but it's not that funny. It's about two kids who grow up in big house. But this house has a ghost, very scary ghost, who's going to give him a nightmare, the little boy. So he is scared about his life. But in the end, it is a lot of boring stuff happens. But in the end, it's all good. It's classic. I give it 8 stars. Next movie that we have on the list of our great movies is A Fistful of Dollars. But you see, it's not American movie, it's Italian. I don't know why they say it's dollars, because in Italian they have Marcos, but not sure why. Maybe it is a translation. Maybe the original title is A Fistful of Marcos. I'll check it out. This movie tells a story. It's like, it's like cowboy, Italian cowboy in a cowboy hat, and he fights the evil guys. He has a big gun, and he fight Italian. But he's Italian himself, so I don't know why he fights. But then he meets this Japanese guy who is his friend, and they have a lot of difference because he's Japanese. He has knife, and Italian has a gun, but they're still good friends. I give this movie 8 stars. Our next movie is Castle in the Sky. It's very interesting. It's sci-fi, fantastic. It's very scientific. You see, it's about a very it's about a robot who lives in the sky, and there is this very old guy who built a big castle in the sky. But he was from Japan, I think. This is Japan animation, and it's very fantastic. But it's for little kids, so maybe 8 stars is enough. Our next movie is called A Holiday in Rome. It's a funny movie. It's comedy, romantic comedy, made in Italy again. A lot of Italian great movies. You see, it's a great country for movies. And this movie was very old. It's in black and white, and you see they ride old cars in here. It's about a guy and a girl who were she was a princess, but she fell in love with a very simple guy who was just a worker in Italy, and they go on holiday, and it's very funny because she's like a princess and she doesn't know simple life. Great movie for all time. I gave it 8 stars. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. I can't hear you again. Hello? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Hello? I can't hear you again. Please respond. Hello? 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 Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry, but I'm very alone here. It's nice to have someone with me. But listen, this is another great movie. It is called The Martian. Ooh, this is one of the greatest movies, so listen carefully. It tells the story about a guy who went to Mars, but he stayed on Mars and created his own civilization with the help of his knowledge of science. But then some guys saved him from the Mars, his teammates, his members, and his name was John, I think. And the John on Mars, he spent there 10 years. It's a very dramatic movie and sci-fi. I won't tell you everything about it, but you should watch for yourself. You see? This is one of the great sci-fi. I gave it 8 stars. Our next movie is The Game of Imitation. It's great. It's one of the great movies of all time. It's number 239 on great movies. It was released recently, but it tells a story about a guy who lived 50 years ago, who was a great mathematics in England. But he was too smart for his own good, because when he discovered a new theorem, he was put to prison for being too smart. You see on his face that this guy is very smart. And also he had a friend in his office he was in love with him. He was actually homosexual, so you know it wasn't very easy for him in prison. And he was also mathematics. You see, drama and tragedy. I gave it The Imitation Game 8 stars. Our next movie is Help. Help. It's about a movie about a black woman who work for white men. You know, it's great. And this black woman, they don't like to work for men and women, for white women. They want to rebel. And one day they all take their children. They steal children from white person, and they demand, give us your children, because we won't help you anymore. And it all become dramatics. And you know, there was slaves in America until recently, but then they cancelled the slaves because there was great movies like Help. I give Help 8 stars. Our next movie is Gangs of Gangs of Otaifura gangs, and it's another movie from India, and you know, it's again a tale of 3 brothers who were in one family, and their father, he was in prison, but they protect their father and they take him out of prison, and then they rob a bank, an Indian bank full of Indian money. And then they marry girl, they dance and sing, and it's all a happy end. But it is a crime drama. If you like crime, you want this drama. I gave it 8 stars. Our next movie is IP Man. IP Man. It is a great movie about an old guy who decided to become strong, and he was fighting in a ring in China. It is another movie about China, but in China they fight for bread. It is very hard in China, and even old guys like IP Man, they want to learn boxing in order to fight. In this movie there's a lot of fighting and some really great action for and fighting, but maybe it's a little boring because they don't have any guns in China. Our next movie is really classical. It is one of classical movies of all I give IP Man 8 stars of all time. It is called Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Ooh, it is a great movie starring Johnny Depp as the captain of a ghost ship. He goes around with his ship and he robs other ships. He's a pirate. It is very great adventure. And then Johnny Depp marries a beautiful girl and they rob ships together. I like this movie. It was my favorite movie of all time one day, but now it's only number 235. I gave this movie 8 stars. Our next great movie of all time is called Deadpool. This movie only came out this year, but it's already classical. You see, this is Deadpool. He's a superhero, but he's not like Avenger, or not like X-Men, or not like Spider-Man. He's not like them. He's edgy, he is vicious, he is really not a good guy at all. He likes to crack really black jokes, and also he likes to kill innocent people, but he still protects the good people in the end. So this is just a different take on the genre of superhero. So I gave this movie 8 stars. Our next movie is The Revenant, starring Leonardo. In this movie, Leonardo plays a cowboy who was lost in the icy desert of the America. It was very long ago, but he was lost and he didn't know what to eat, so he had to eat all of his friends in order to survive. But then he ran away because he found so I remember the plot now. He was attacked by the bear, but he was able to run away using the river, and then he came back from the dead because he was a revenant. That's the name for the guy who comes back from the desert, and he didn't die. He survived in the desert. I gave this movie 8 stars. It won Oscar, by the way. Our next movie is Dog Day Afternoon. It is one of the great movies about dogs. It is a dog. It has Al Pacino in it, and it's a movie about gangsters. You see, Al Pacino, he robs a bank in the beginning of the movie, but then he has to go to prison, and in prison it's not very good. So then there is they have a trial for Al Pacino, and he has to protect his innocence. It is very dramatic movie. I give this movie 8 stars. Our next movie is very old. It is 50 years old, and it's called Battles of Algiers. It's not boring, because it tells a story about war, and war is never boring. So we have the soldiers in Algiers in Africa, and they try to protect the country from invaders. So it's very dramatic. It has children, women, and of course soldiers. I give this movie 8 stars. Our last movie for today is Songs of the Sea. It is animation once again. This time this animation is from the Britain, so it's very funny animation. It tells a story about a girl who lives underwater, and she is a friend to many different animals, such as sea cats that you see here. And it's one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the 230 movies of great movies of all time. It's very dramatic, and the underwater family. It's they even have a cake with underwater candles, and it's very cute. Your kids will like it. My kid like it, and I think it's great. So, hello. If you are still here, please say something to me, because I'm very lonely, and I would like someone to say something to me. And it's a great program that you watch, and I think all of these movies are very great. And today we stop at number 230, but we will continue next time with number 230, and we'll make another list. So see you next time. Please welcome to our live program.